All right, so I've wanted to do this for a while. Um, I originally got this video idea from a forum, I will say, because I don't want to like name brands and companies and all that. But I put together a list that I think everybody who is a hobbyist photographer or an amateur, maybe you do a couple of I don't know, sport events for your kids or whatever else you might photograph. I put together a list of three things that I think will make you a better photographer. Um, and these are the three things. I'm getting right to the point because I hate these videos that don't do this and they go, "Oh, today's brought to you by so and so sponsor." These are the three things. A lot of the online videos and courses are scams. Um, this will help you become a better photographer. Pulling references, that's number two. And number three, and this is still something I deal with in my professional company, business, whatever, job. Better gear does not matter. So those are three things. And if that's all you get from the video, that's fine. But if you want to listen, listen. All right. Most of the how-to videos and courses online are scams. And I found this out because I would watch them. And a little backstory about me. I've been doing photo lighting professionally in Hollywood in LA for like 10 years. I've done photo lighting or grip or gaffers. It's kind of all the same in the photo world. I've been on movie sets, music videos, commercials. I've done huge clients, like A-list clients, and that's not a brag. I'm just trying to give myself credibility, which is something that these courses and videos don't have. These people that sell you a $300 how to do lighting course, the lighting's terrible. Um, you can find out if they're scammers or if it's a bunch of BS by going to their website and finding out who they've actually done photos for. Um, and if that's the case, did they actually get paid or were they just a celebrity influencer or whatever because they had 150,000 followers on a social media platform? Is that why they got the job? Um, that would be one of the first things I look at when you click on these courses or even some of these YouTubers. They've never done anything and they've never had an outside professional, like a real professional, go, that ain't it. Um, that's like the main thing. It's like do some research. I don't think that you need to pay $300 to learn how they did it or whatever. This kind of feeds into the second point, which is pulling references is by and large 95% of my job. They say, "Hey, are you available on these dates?" I go, "Yes, I am." They go, "We're doing this week we were doing active wear, so stuff you would wear if you wanted to play tennis or soccer or yoga or go to the gym." And that's the idea, that's the brand. And I go, "Okay, what do you want it to look like?" And they send me over anywhere from like 5 to 10, 20 images that they like, whether it's like a pose that somebody's doing in this image. And these are not photos that the photographer took. These are ones they found online. And they say, "Hey, I love this lighting. Can we replicate this?" And it is my job to go, "Yep, I know how to do that. I know how to do that with, preferably within budget, kind of within, we're not spending 10 freaking grand on a bunch of stuff we don't need." So you should, if you're doing, I'm trying to think of the things people might do in the amateur stuff. I don't shoot anymore. I gave up on that dream, but I still work with like new shooters all the time. somebody just got their first job and they're very nervous. And I go, it doesn't, you've hired everybody. There's 10 people supporting you. Um, the references is so big. So if you're, let's say, you're just going to a park and maybe somebody wants headshots, or they're an actor, you should Google a bunch of images and find the ones you like. Or I can't remember that other website that a lot of people like, and they can put mood boards together and all that, and try to put them all in the same flavor, right? So if you're at a park, don't put a bunch of photos of you, or a bunch of mood board photos of somebody on a roller coaster, right? We want to stay within the park setting, and aim for that. Aim for either the lighting or even the color of the image, and the posing. Pulling references is going to give you so much of an advantage, as opposed to just going to the park and being like, yeah, I guess this tree will work. Let's just make the best of it. No, like, show them the model. Or if you're doing food, let's say a restaurant has hired you, a coffee shop has hired you, pull some references. And I think that's all I got on pulling references. It's huge. It gives you a leg up. You print it out, or you put it on an iPad, or you put it to your phone, like email them to you, and then you're able to like look at them when you're doing the job. And then the third one, I really like this one. I run into it a lot. Better gear does not matter. All of the time. This is like the majority of YouTube channels I come across. They're reviewing the latest and greatest of whatever, the mirrorless cameras. That stuff, unless you're doing like a concert where it's like low light, all of the newest, latest, and greatest is kind of like just dumb. There are so many, and I get to be around the latest and greatest. I get to try all this equipment, and I always default back to the 5D Mark IV is such a great camera, and it still has a shutter. It makes the beautiful noise when you capture an image. These mirrorless ones, they have to like recreate it. It doesn't sound great, or it doesn't sound as good. And yet here we are on the Canon R77. You know what I mean? It's like we have 70 versions, and you guys, like, we don't need that. You don't need to go and drop $4,000 on a camera or $3,000. I can shoot an ad or light an ad on a Canon Rebel like T3, and it will look as good as whatever. I don't even know what the latest and greatest camera is, because it's hard to follow all of them. Everybody's always got something new, and they all kind of do the same thing. I mean, unless I could see the advantage, maybe you're doing sports, you're at your son's or daughter's soccer game, or I don't know, whatever the other sports would be, tennis, and they have that AI eye tracking stuff. That would be cool. But all in all, you could still get great images. You don't need the latest and greatest cameras. The lenses, yes, kind of do help, but you don't even need to buy those. Go to what is it, ShareGrid? You can rent stuff. Or I think there used to be lens rentals. I don't know if they're still around, but you can get the lenses, you know, a freaking $3,000 70 to 200 sent to your door. Maybe it's like $80, but you don't have to front that cost. Another thing I would highly take advantage of, and it's something I did because I own a ton of lighting and a ton of grip. I buy most of my stuff used, and then I refurbish everything. A lot of this stuff and this crap behind me is used stuff that I have refurbished. Okay, I got a chainsaw, $500 chainsaw for $50, refurbished it. I have right now a stand that somebody sold me for $200. I went and cleaned it all up, got all the rust off. I got a bunch of C-stands that I've cleaned up and made them nice, redid all of the heads on them so they grip the C-stand arms again. You don't need whatever freaking newest camera or what we're using in Hollywood, like Profoto lights are so much money, and I know because I own them. I own Aputure lights, and some of the stuff Godox is putting out is just as good, especially if you're not really making money doing this. I mean, unless you got a ton of money in the bank and you just enjoy photography and maybe the gear thing is your jam, then go ahead and take advantage of that. But like the Godox stuff, some of the newer stuff from like Amazon, I think that's their house brand, that stuff works great and you can use it and probably get the same results that I'm getting. The reason I get the Profoto and the Aputure stuff is just because I have to use this stuff every day. It is my income, so I don't want to deal with stuff breaking. Obviously, the lower price stuff is more apt to break. It's cheaper quality stuff, and maybe it's not as consistent. Like I know Profoto, when we start shooting, 2,000 images in a day, that pretty much the colors are going to stay the same. One thing I'd like to apologize, there's a bunch of flies because I rebuilt my whole garage. I'm still rebuilding it, and I left the door open and a bunch of flies got in. But yeah, so lights, you don't need the best stuff. Cameras, you don't need the best stuff. I don't even know what software is kicking around. I know Photoshop and Lightroom, those are still great, and I know a lot of the professionals hate on Lightroom. I still think Lightroom's cool. And then here's a bonus tip: presets. This is one thing that I saw when I first got in this industry. Everybody online would crap on presets, professionals included, would go, oh, the presets, that just, that's not a real photograph. The amount of people I know that have, they just bought their second home because they're making so much money from photography or whatever it is, they all use presets. Wedding photographers, those people use presets. They'll shoot, 200, they'll shoot 1,000 images and they'll pull 100 from it. They do one color pass, they preset everything, maybe do slight adjustments in exposure, and kick it out. All right? The presets, they get too much hate and they can save you. I think some of these online people, they sell their packs for like $20. I've gotten a couple, a lot of them are junk, but there's some gold in there. So yeah, I think that's the gist of this video. I'd like to say I'm going to try and put as many of these videos out as I can. I finally got around to this. I've been trying to do this for about a year. I was super slammed in 2025. Pure luck, was not based on skill. Thank you everyone who hired me and has hired me for the past couple of years. It has been a blessing. But yeah, I'd like to pass on some of the stuff I'm learning or have learned to the amateur and maybe even that like new hobbyist or whatever, because there is a huge annoying skill gap of like the professionals going and showing you insane builds that you will never be able to like actually afford. We're talking like $30,000 in equipment, and then they show you how it's done, and it's like, yeah man, if you had 4 Aputure 1200s with a couple of soft domes, a lantern, or a zoom spot, like yeah, you could accomplish that, but you don't need all that stuff. And there's nobody really in between that I have found that's showing you how to do this stuff that I do with some of the cheaper gear. And it's obnoxious. And then you have the professionals, and then you have these guys that claim they are professionals, and meanwhile they live in Dayton, Ohio, which, no hate on Dayton, Ohio, but the hub of photography and entertainment and commercial photographic work or video work is not in Dayton, Ohio, okay? So I don't want to hear some dude who lives in Dayton, Ohio telling me how it's done when the only thing he's ever done was go to his kid's, game and then claim that he's some professional and then try and sell you guys a course for $300. It's ridiculous. So that being said, I've started a Patreon. This is where I do a sales pitch, and I put it at $5, and there's 3 lighting diagrams that you with if you went to the 99-cent store and you got a shower curtain, you could do one of the lighting diagrams. But there's 3 of them on there, and it's $5. I'm gonna try every month to add a new lighting diagram that somebody just starting out can take advantage of. And I came up with that idea because, one, I have lived eating rice for all 3 meals for many a year to get to this point. I'm not giving my stuff away for free. There's no way. But $5 is a cup of coffee, all right? And that's the least you can do. I could care less if you like, subscribe, all that crap. I don't care. But if this is something you're down to support, go to Patreon. It's like $5. I'll put the link in the description. And I'm going to keep trying to pump out content, lighting diagrams, videos of how to do stuff. And you have my word that if I just say, you know what, I'm done, I'm not doing social media, I will end anybody sending me payments. All right? You won't have to pay for anything ever again. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm just saying that now because I see that all the time. These people stop making stuff and then they still charge you. So that's my thoughts on the matter. Also interesting, on Patreon, it's this, even if you don't want to buy the lighting diagrams, you can, I want everybody to, if you hate me or not, and you find me obnoxious, go to the Patreon because there's a poll. And I want everybody to click on this poll because it says, what kind of photography are you guys doing? I have done it all right? And I want to see what people are doing, and it's completely anonymous. I won't see who does what. Are you doing food? Are you doing weddings? Are you doing sports? I keep saying sports just because that I feel like is a lot of people do that. But yeah, click on the poll and let me know what you guys want to see, because I've done it all. If you go into any home improvement store, I guarantee you right now there's at least 4 of my images on many of the products that are front facing as you walk the main corridor at a home improvement store, or whatever. If you go to an online retailer, some of the major online retailers, my stuff is on the banner, my lighting work. And what I won't be doing is naming the people I work for, because that is people don't like that, and then I won't name brands that I've worked for, which is contradictory to what I had originally said. So you're just gonna have to trust me, but rest assured, this is gonna be a big trust from you guys. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've worked with every single brand that you could probably think of, including ones you'll never have heard of. But those are some of the best paying jobs, and I'm happy to do whatever. I'll work with the new brand that no one's ever heard of, the new photographer, or I'll work with the very famous one. I don't care. But I've been doing it a long time, and I've been wanting to kind of bridge the gap of like the gatekeeping that goes on in every field. But because I am pretty damn good at lighting, and I've been in this industry, I feel like I can share some of the knowledge. And that's all I got for now. So yeah, head over to that Patreon if you want to support. If not, I don't care. But good stuff. Thank you guys, and we'll keep this train rolling.